Today we're going to talk about every first-party Nintendo-published game released exclusively on the Nintendo 3DS eShop in North America. Let's get into it. Hello there everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Botox Media. Today we're finally talking about the Nintendo 3DS eShop and what games you should be on the lookout for. In the case of this video, we're going to be covering every single Nintendo published 3DS game that was exclusively released digitally in North America. Of course, Japan and Europe might have some discrepancies, so let me know in the comments below. I might have missed like a small like freeware software like the SD card transfer tool, something like that. I didn't really include that kind of stuff here. So yeah, we're gonna get into this. I'm excited to finally be doing these. Of course, I also want to do a video on just best eShop games to get, maybe hidden gems for 3DS eShop, and then the same kind of topics for Wii U. So, and before we get into this, little housekeeping, I do have an announcement to make. I have a new channel called Shonen Soup. This is a channel dedicated to manga and anime, all my thoughts regarding my favorite manga and anime currently running in Jump, and maybe some older stuff. We'll go back and do some retrospectives on like Naruto and stuff. I know most of you here probably aren't anime weebs, but I enjoy Shonen Jump quite a bit, so if you're interested in that, Shonen Soup will be in the link down below. Now, let's get into this. These are in no real particular order. However, we'll start off with the 3D classics. So if you don't know, Nintendo did this weird thing, and then Sega did it later, where they released some NES and like kind of arcade games. I guess it was all NES games, huh, actually. They released them as these 3D classics with added 3D, kind of making these 8-bit characters look a little three-dimensional. So these are actually pretty cool. However, I would say, in my humble opinion, there's really only 2, maybe 3 worth getting. So you have Twin B, which is just a shmup, Xevious, which is another shmup, Urban Champion, which you should steer clear of Urban Champion. Urban Champion's garbage. Excite Bike, which is okay. Then Kid Icarus, which is that's probably the best way to play the original Kid Icarus, I have to say. Not a great game by any means, but a fun one nonetheless. And I would say if you're going to get it, get the 3D Classics version. And then finally Kirby Adventure from the NES. So yeah, I would say out of those, Kirby Adventure and Kid Icarus are definitely the 2 to get. But Excite Bike can also be quite a bit of fun. Then we have a ton of Pokemon stuff. So, of course, we have Pokédex 3D. That is free. We have Pokemon Shuffle and Rumble World. Those are also free. Pokemon Bank, free. So, get Pokemon Bank. I think within Pokemon Bank includes Poke Transporter. So, you can transfer your Pokemon from Black and White to the Generation 6 game. So, you want to get that. Then we have Dream Radar, which I think is $3. That's the little game where you get the Therian forms for Landorus, Thundurus, and Tornadus. Not a great software by any means, but it is worth noting. Battle Droze is a fun little puzzle game. I think that's like $8. And I think that's it for... Pokemon Picross. I already forgot one. Pokemon Picross, another free-to-start game like Rumble World and Shuffle. So I think that's it for Pokemon. I know Japan has some other stuff like that Band of 1000 Thieves or whatever Pokemon game. But in North America, I'm pretty sure that's it. And I should say also, I'm not doing like game updates. You can go on the eShop and download updates for games you don't own. So if that's something you're interested in, like if you, I was looking because I went to just Nintendo published games on the 3DS eShop, and one of the last 3DS releases was Yokai Watch Blasters from Nintendo. You can just download the update for that game. So I'm not sure if you'll be able to do that once the like purchasing stops on the 3DS. I'm guessing not, probably. But worth noting that you can get updates. And then we have just a ton of really interesting kind of like indie games that Nintendo did on the 3DS. I really wish they had kept this kind of this thing going on the Switch. And even on Wii U. Wii U didn't have much of this either. But Nintendo published a bunch of weird stuff from a bunch of random indie devs. Some of these I'm not actually sure if maybe Nintendo did develop in-house or, you know, by, you know, one of their studios. But most of this is not actually developed by Nintendo. However, it is published by Nintendo, and that makes it interesting to me. First up, a game that you can actually buy physically. I still need to pick up this from my collection. Freaky Forms. This is one of the first 3DS eShop games I actually played. I think it was the first one Nintendo published on the eShop. This is just a fun little game where you, I don't know about fun actually. I think that's a little bit that's a little bit too nice of this game. You just make little monsters and you play through these stupid little levels. It's not a great game by any means. My little sister loved it, but that's about as nice as I can say about Freaky Forms. But there is a physical version called Freaky Forms Deluxe that I still want to get. That it's kind of like a more. It reminds me of Snipper Clips. They released Snipper Clips and they did Snipper Clips Deluxe, or you know, the complete package. So Freaky Forms, if you have not heard of it, it's not great. But then we have what is probably honestly my favorite little series out of everything on this list, except for maybe one, Pushmo. So we have Push Mo, which is paid, Crash Mo, which is paid, and then Stretch Mo, which I believe was just free to start. These are 3 series games, or a game with series with 3 games. It's just these, in Europe it's called Pool Blocks. These puzzle games where you play as this cute little puffy man named Mallow, and you pull blocks around, literally pool blocks, or push blocks, Push Mo. And you have to try to get to the flag at the end, or, you know, like save the, I guess the flag is like a little kid you're saving that gets stuck in these puzzles. Really cute game, really nice music, just mellow tones. You can create stages in these games. I think you can still share them because I believe it used QR codes. If you have not played Push 'Em, if you like puzzle games, I highly recommend it. I wish they had done like a physical like trilogy for this or something, or maybe even bring it back on Switch. That would be awesome. Next up, a game I never actually played, and I will say I actually played most of these games, surprisingly. Quetzal's Corridors. I was looking at a trailer at this. I remember seeing it in the eShop when I was a kid. It's basically hole in the wall with Tetris pieces. That's your thing, I guess. You can play that. Sakura Samurai. This is one that a lot of people talk about. I actually put this on the thumbnail. I never played this game too much. I did have it, but I remember... I don't know. I remember there being something off about it that I couldn't quite put my finger on. However, that I cannot go without mentioning this game because a lot of people really seem to like it. It is definitely one of the most like stylized and probably well-made Nintendo published games that we got on the 3DS eShop. I can't remember it's like you kind of like you're playing this guy, Sakura Samurai, I don't know, and you're just kind of I think you're on an automatic moving path where these ninjas will come and attack you, and you have to like time your attacks perfectly. I believe that was the gameplay. I'll have some footage up on screen right now for you guys to decide for yourself if this is worth picking up. But I would say out of everything on here, this is probably one of the most like high quality Nintendo published games on this list. Moving on, this is kind of a piece of software that I was surprised cost $6, Nintendo. I don't know what was going on there. Sparkle Snapshots 3D. So this is just Snapchat filters before Snapchat filters, and it was clearly marketed towards girls because it's like I clicked on the trailer and it's just like a picture of like these like preteens and it's like girls rule. So it's just a piece of like photo editing software with all your pink sparkly glitter stuff. I don't know why this exists, to be honest. I guess there's a DSi version, and I have to say, off topic sidebar, no one's been talking about the fact that we're losing the DSi games in this also, so maybe I'll do a video on DSiWare, although I'm definitely unfamiliar with DSiWare games for the most part, because, yeah, we're completely losing all of that also. Then we have another trilogy of games. This is probably the second highest, or it's probably the highest quality of any of these Nintendo-published eShop games. One of these actually did get a physical release in, I believe, Japan and Europe. Never got released physically in the US. That is Dylan's Rolling Western. People love these games. I remember having a lot of trouble with the first game because I am left-handed. Because like the way you spin it up and then you move with the control stick, it was a little hard for me. Maybe I should give it a go again. But yeah, Dylan's Rolling Western is a very highly regarded Nintendo 3DS eShop series. You have Dylan's Rolling Western, Dylan's, I think it's just called Dylan's Rolling Western: The Last Ranger, and then the last one is called, that got a physical release in Europe, Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers. So 3 Dylan games. And I have to say at this point, once again, I wish Nintendo kept doing this stuff. You know, there's like, why isn't Snipper Clips a franchise, man? I would love more Snipper Clips. Here we have a game that I never played, but I was looking at footage of because I remember seeing this in a direct and I couldn't remember what it actually was. So I looked up a trailer. It's Human Zumba, so it's called Tokyo Crash Mobs, and you use humans, and it's almost like that game Photo Dojo. It looks like that, or like even looks like a CDI game or something, where it has these real images of people, and they're like walking in a line, like I guess like through Shibuya or something, right? And you're playing Zuma with them. Zuma, of course, being the marble game where you shoot the colored marbles and then you get points, kind of like that, you know. So Tokyo Crash Mob is definitely a weird and zany, kind of quirky game. I don't know. I never played this one myself. A game I actually did enjoy quite a bit when I was younger, Fluidity Spin Cycle. I remember not liking this as much as Fluidity on WiiWare. However, this is a sequel to Fluidity called Fluidity Spin Cycle. They try to make like a character out of the water. I didn't really like that. But Fluidity kind of just control water with the gyro. Fun game. A game that I think everybody on here watching this probably will hate. I never actually played this one, to be honest. I am not a huge Chibi Robo fan. Not for lack of, I just haven't played the original Chibi Robo. I like Ziplash. I know that's not a popular opinion. But I haven't played the original Chibi Robo or the Parker Patrol on DS. But Chibi Robo Photo Finder on the 3DS eShop. This kind of like used, of course, the 3DS's AR stuff. So there's that. We're losing a Chibi Robo game. No. Woe is Chibi Robo. Then another kind of trilogy of games. There was a lot of trilogies I've noticed on the 3DS eShop. We have 3 Mario vs. Donkey Kong games. So we have Mario vs. DK Minis on the Move. This was probably one of the most unique games in the entire series. So instead of being a 2D game, it was a 3D game. And instead of, just doing the basic, pull the pipe here, it's kind of like this grid-based game, I want to say. Not grid necessarily, but like you have these pieces that spawn. And it's kind of like the square shaped like arena, and it's like this 3D space. I'll have footage up once again. You'll be able to tell more what's going on in that than me explaining it. It is not like your standard Mario versus Donkey Kong game. I actually enjoyed this one quite a bit. Pretty fun puzzles, a lot of content, a lot of stars to go for, collectibles. I enjoyed this one. Probably one of my upper echelon of 3DS eShop games. Then we have Tipping Stars, which is also on Wii U. Great Mario vs. Donkey Kong game. I like the Mario vs. DK series. I would love to see it come back. People hate on it first. I don't know why, just because there's so many of them, I guess. And they are usually kind of the same thing. But yeah, Tipping Stars is great. I think the online is shut down, though, because I think it was tied through Miiverse. And then the final one we got that I did not play much was Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge. So this is a free piece of software you can download, but you need Amiibo to unlock the content. So get that, I guess, if you have some Amiibo. And then another piece of free software, we have Photos with Mario. If you remember, I don't have it on me, but I saw one in my closet the other day. For a little bit of time there, Nintendo, when you bought like an eShop card in stores, it came with AR cards of Mario characters like, Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, Goomba. And you could use those AR cards in this little app to kind of just spawn Mario onto your desk, And I believe in Japan, they also did one for Animal Crossing, or maybe in Europe. So there's that, and then I think in Japan exclusive was a Pikmin version. But yeah, in North America, I'm pretty sure we just got Photos with Mario. Correct me if I'm wrong. More free stuff. Rusty's Real Deal Baseball. There's been a ton of videos about this on YouTube recently. This is just a weird little... I actually never played it, to be honest, but the entire gimmick was it was free to play, and you'd have to haggle with the store shop owner to to kind of get the games at a discounted price, which is a super interesting premise for a free-to-start game, so shout out to Nintendo for that. And then I believe it's just like a little baseball minigame kind of thing. I'm not too sure. Video editing Bo coming in to let you know that I forgot about the Dempamin, one of another great 3DS trilogy. So if you have not seen the Dempamin, I highly recommend it. It uses once again the 3D camera on the 3DS to kind of spawn these little creatures that you get in this cute little dungeon crawler game. I enjoyed this. There's 3 of them on the eShop. I think Japan had a 4th free-to-start game, but Dempamin, another trilogy of 3DS games that Nintendo did on the eShop. Where is this energy on the Switch, Nintendo? Give us more! Another game I've not played, but I have heard good things about from Game Freak, surprisingly, Pocket Card Jockey. So this is horse racing mixed with solitaire. I heard really good things when this came out. I never got around to playing it, so if you want to see a video on this game, I would definitely be down to do that, because usually I like Game Freak's like little side games. And speaking of Game Freak, we also have Harmonite. This is a pretty early 3DS game. I love this. This is a rhythm game, once again developed by Game Freak. Kind of just a side-scrolling rhythm game where you have to hit the notes as you go. There's Pokemon music in this game. Harmonite is awesome. If you have not played Harmonite and like rhythm games, highly recommend it. Not free software, but a piece of software nonetheless, I should mention. And since you can't purchase stuff when the eShop closes, you won't be able to get this anymore. The Smash Controller app. So if you remember, for some reason, I don't know why. It's kind of cool. I don't know why they did it though. They released for 99 cents on the 3DS eShop a controller app that lets you use your 3DS as a controller and Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. I don't know what's going on with that, but I just want to let y'all know you might want to get that. You might want to get that now while you can. Moving on, 3 games that I believe all got physical releases in Europe and Japan, but for some reason they just decided, nope, you Americans don't get it. And 2 of these I'm actually pretty sad about. Really all 3 of them, because I mean more physical games from the collection is a good thing. Rhythm Heaven Mega Mix hurts so much that we did not get that physically in North America. Rhythm Heaven is one of my favorite Nintendo series, and we just did not get that here. So I think it sells for $30 on the eShop. So definitely get that if you like WarioWare, if you like that kind of thing. Definitely get it. Like I was talking about Harmonite. That's a music rhythm game. Rhythm Heaven's just like a tapping puzzle rhythm. It's so good. If you have not played Rhythm Heaven, do yourself a favor and play Rhythm Heaven. Then a series that I know a lot of my viewers actually really enjoy. I've never really played it. It isn't really my thing, but I do want to get it because they're kind of one of them's up there in price. Style Savvy Styling Star. This was the third Style Savvy on the 3DS. Of course, we had, what was it, Trendsetters and then Fashion Forward. Fashion Forward is pretty pricey for the North American copy. And then Styling Star did not get a physical release in North America. I think that's a $40 eShop game. So, if you like Style Savvy, you might want to get that. And then the other one that did not get a physical release in North America, I don't believe, correct me if I'm wrong, was Picross 3D Round 2. So I never played Picross 3D. I like Picross. I never played Picross 3D on DS, though. I remember it was a big deal when that came over to the 3DS with the sequel. Pretty sure it got a release in Japan and Europe, though, physically. So if you want to import, obviously the 3DS isn't region-free, but if you're just a collector, you can probably do that. Couple more games here. We are winding down here. Curse Sploosh. I remember thinking this was a meme. I remember Bill Trennan or Nate Bildorf or someone in a Nintendo Direct back in like 2012 just explaining this game, and I was sitting there like, this is stupid. Basically, the premise is you're a rock or like a marble or something, and there's all kinds of different little shapes and marbles that you can play as, and you're just going down a well, and you have to avoid like obstacles. It's honestly kind of an interesting concept looking back, as it's like I think it's a $3 game. But yeah, Curse Sploosh is that's a Nintendo published game. Another free to start game. I don't know if the servers are still active for this anymore. Probably not. But Steel Diver Sub Wars, of course, is the sequel to Steel Diver, the iconic 3DS launch game. I don't know if there was like a single player in that, but if there wasn't, I'm sure you can't play it anymore. But it is still available in the eShop. Then we have a ton of Kirby games. So if you don't remember, the Kirby Triple Deluxe and Kirby Planet Robobot had kind of these side modes. Pretty much all of them got expanded as eShop releases that cost money. So we have DDD's Drum Dash Deluxe. That's a rhythm game. I have not played that one. Then we have Kirby Fighters Deluxe. Of course, I actually did a video 2 months back on Kirby Fighters 2 on the Switch. It's just like a little Smash clone. Then we have Blowout Blast, which was the like top-down kind of 3D Kirby game that we got on the eShop. And then as well as Kirby Team Clash Deluxe, which we also have that on Switch as well with Super Kirby Clash. Actually, that's my favorite one by far out of all of these. It's kind of like this like boss rush kind of Monster Hunter. You know, you're equipping, you're upgrading your armor, and then yeah, you're playing as Kirby, which is just a lot of fun. So all the Kirby stuff we're gonna be losing right there. Kind of sucks. Like I said, there are modes like those in Triple Deluxe and Planet Robobot. However, these separate games definitely have way more new levels and kind of, you know, options. So if you're a Kirby fan, I would probably get on that while you still can. Then we have Nintendo Badge Arcade, another free game. I have a confession to make. Everybody is like super nostalgic for the Badge Arcade, guys. I never used it. I don't know if it's still active. Can you get free badges? I'm assuming you can. Should I do a video on the Nintendo Badge Arcade? Because I might have played it once when it came out, but after that, I did not even touch it. I never decorated my menu with the badges. So if you guys want to see a video on Nintendo Badge Arcade, let me know, because I would love to go check it out now, although I'm assuming I've missed most of what you could have gotten in its prime. Then we have the Box Boy series. Once again, another great trilogy of Nintendo games. This is, of course, from HAL, the developers of Kirby. We have a new game on Switch called Bye Bye Box Boy. So 4 games in the series, 3 of them are on 3DS. The third one, I think it was just the third one, although it might have been a collection. Got a physical release in Japan exclusively with that QB amiibo. It's now like the most expensive amiibo on the market. So that's interesting. But Box Boys is a really cute 2D puzzle game where you play as Box Boy named QB. There's 3 of them on the 3DS, and I've only played the first one, and I played the Switch one, but I assume they're all pretty much the same. Pretty good series. Then we have a couple more games here, 4 more to be precise. Dr. Mario Miracle Cure. I think a lot of people forget that they released a Dr. Mario game on the 3DS. They did. I don't think anybody played it, but it does have the Dr. Luigi mode from, of course, Dr. Luigi on Wii U, pretty much completely making Dr. Luigi on Wii U pointless. So if you like Dr. Mario, there is that. That is the most recent one that's still active because Dr. Mario World on mobile got shut down. A few more games here. My Nintendo Picross Twilight Princess. This is actually free, but you need to have My Nintendo account to get it, and then like some points. So that won't be obtainable anymore for this. That is a Zelda game we are losing technically. So there is that. Then I don't know if this is technically a demo. Well, here's the thing, right? Obviously, there's plenty of demos for 3DS stuff in the eShop. I didn't really cover that here. This game on the eShop, I think it said demo like in the tags. However, it's the icon. You know how 3DS icons, if it's a demo, it says demo on the icon? This one doesn't say that. So this is Metroid Prime Blast Ball. Of course, this is a mode within Metroid Prime Federation Force, but they released this standalone at some point, and it had online like features. You could play it online. That's since been discontinued. You can't play this online anymore, but it does have solo stuff, so I included it just in case. It does have like a real game icon. It looks like a real game. It doesn't say demo like on like the title or anything, so wanted to include it. And then the final game here, published by Nintendo, is Tank Troopers. I remember this is a pretty late life 3DS game, I think like 2016, 2017. I guess it's actually not that late, given that we were getting 3DS games until 2019. This, I think, got a physical release in Japan as well. I don't know much about this game. I remember seeing it and kind of just being like, that looks kind of boring. But there you guys have it. That is every Nintendo-published 3DS game on the 3DS eShop. Definitely going to do more 3DS eShop videos, like I said. But I figure, you know, my taste, usually, if it's a Nintendo-published game, I'm kind of more inclined to check it out. I would say highlights for sure. And I might reiterate some of these in my actual, like, pick up these 3DS eShop games videos. Sakura Samurai, Pushmo series, of course, Dylan series. Tokyo Crash Mobs, I'm kind of interested in picking up just because it's a weird, zany, quirky Zumba clone. Obviously, all the Mario vs. DK games. Harmonite's probably the best one out of all this, to be honest. Oh, and Rhythm Heaven Mega Mix, of course. And then the Kirby games, of course. Box Boy's good. So, decent amount of Nintendo published games on the 3DS eShop. If I missed anything, let me know. I don't think I did, but there might have been like a free piece of software like that SD card transfer tool like I mentioned. There's also like the videos, Nintendo video things they did. So there you guys have it. Let me know your thoughts on all these Nintendo 3DS eShop published Nintendo games. What is your favorite? What is your least favorite? And of course, if I missed something, once again, let me know. And like I said at the top of the video, I do have a new channel, Shonen Soup. If you like manga and anime, go check that out. Of course, you can follow me here on this channel for gaming stuff. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you don't miss a single 3DS video. You can follow me on Twitter at BoTalksMedia. Join my Discord. A link to that is down below. And until next time, guys, bye-bye.